Michael Cauble, WBRZ Channel 2. Cauble, I noticed you didn't go up to Ruston and stand in the 28-degree weather while it was raining. What's the problem?
I thought they were in Fargo, and when I saw that it was looking like Fargo, I was like, zero chance that I'm making that trip.
All right, let's talk football staff. First of all, first time Brian Kelly's hit the mic since his introductory press conference. He's been hard at work assembling a recruiting class and a staff. What was your impression of the new head man at the microphone the last couple of days?
I mean, I think he's been great. He's, that's the thing. We'd like to talk to him a little bit more because he's pretty, helpful, insightful, and funny. When we do get to talk to him, a lot of people ask me what my impression's been, and I kind of just relay the story that I thought he was a jerk when we dealt with him in bowl games. But when you get to talk to him and, he's on your side of the fence, it's like, all right, this dude's pretty cool. So enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the process that they have used to kind of put this staff together. And interestingly enough, the pace at which they are working is something like I've never experienced. And so it's different. It's refreshing, right?
Yeah, I mean, from afar, it seems that way. It appears to me from afar, and then you've spoken to the staff and you've heard Brian Kelly talk about the staff. My thought when he was hired is that he was going to be kind of ever present in the building, the top of the food chain, but kind of let everybody do their work. Is that the impression you've gotten from all involved over the last couple of days?
For sure. Yeah, he's hands-on in a hands-off approach, if that makes sense. He's going to know, I don't know if it's daily, updates or whatever. He's going to know everything's going on, but he's going to enable people to do their part of the puzzle and, just make sure that they got the corners and the edges all, squared away and ready to roll. So I very much see him as a collaborative effort kind of guy with the final say. So just talking to the coaches and, getting a feel for them, it's been very interesting, like I said, and somewhat refreshing to hear kind of the approach. And I talked about the pace because it seems very deliberate and slow. Nothing has been finalized. Nothing has been firmed even. This is very much of like a get to know you kind of period. And that's something we talked a little bit more in depth about today, just the deliberateness of that. And it's due to the fact that they want to make sure that the foundation is secure. And Mike Denbrock even said, one of the charges of Brian Kelly getting hired here was that it was to kind of shore up the foundation. So kind of confirming one of the things that, we had talked about before, but just the idea that, and Joe Sloan said it, if you don't have time to do it the first time, when are you going to have time to do it again? So there's very much this idea of we're going to be very thorough in our approach, deliberate in our timetable, because we want to make sure that we have the pieces in place that when the players get here and we're, running and gunning, that everyone knows the expectations. Everyone's on the same page. And I thought that was interesting because there are a lot of holes to fill, in Tiger football right now.
Do you think people have made it too big of a deal about Coach Kelly not being available to the media? And do you think going forward he should be making himself more available to you guys?
Well, funny to hear your voice, Jeremy, because Frank Wilson was very complimentary of you and said that, you had gone by recently and talked to the running back room about the standards and the traditions of that room and how they need to get back to them. So tip of the cap to you. It was fun hearing Frank again and just kind of reliving. Yeah, just, I told him, I was like, when you were here the last time, there was a real commitment to the run game. And, do you feel like that's going to be coming as well? And he did feel like that. Now, to answer your question, no, nobody cares about Brian Kelly not talking to the media except people in the media, right? It's do you care how your sausage is made? No, you like sausage. You like bacon. It's like no one really cares about the pig in the process. So, no, I don't think it's a big deal. Would I have liked to have talked to him sooner? Sure. Would I have liked to talk to him more often? Absolutely. Would I like to hear an assistant coach be able to speak to someone other than Hunt Palmer weekly? Yes, I would love that, because what it does is it opens the door to just fantastic stories. Robert Steeples substitute taught as an NFL player in the offseason. He, at his core, is a teacher. Just listening to him talk yesterday, you very much get that feeling. I never would have known that if he hadn't been available to us. Jamar Cain babysitting Joe Burrow and cutting up his family highlight tape is a fantastic nugget that we never would have gotten. But more so when you get assistant coaches in the middle of the season, you get an idea of kind of their expectations and the reality of their position group. It would have been great. I love Brad Davis. When we got to talk to Brad Davis, I was like, man, I want to go have beers with Brad Davis. It would have been great to kind of get to know Brad maybe once in the middle of the season just to get a handle on where he felt his line was, areas they needed to improve, guys that are standing out and, like he wants to recognize. So there's a benefit to speaking with the media. Now, it shouldn't come at the cost of sacrificing victories or what it takes to, promote a player. No, but there is a time and place for everything. And I think there could be certainly more time afforded for those kind of opportunities.
Michael Cauble, WBRZ, sports director, Channel 2 over there. You mentioned Brad Davis, and I've alluded to this in the past on the air. I interview an assistant coach every week for the pregame show, and it's 5 minutes and I'm out of there. Brad Davis's interview this year was after the Florida game, which, yes, was after they set a rushing record. It was also after Ed Ogeron had been fired, and there was everyone was essentially every assistant coach was essentially maybe running out the string here. And we had a candid conversation, and what I drew from that was that he would love to be back, and he is now. He got a chance to coach the bowl game. That was a disaster from a personnel perspective. But what did you get from him and kind of his new lease on quote-unquote life here at home in Baton Rouge?
I don't know that I got anything necessarily new other than he knows the challenge that is in front of him and is excited about the opportunity that presents. He's very much a guy that I think tackles problems head on, understands, what the task is and is looking to get that 100, right? So, I feel that he is a guy, not a bridge guy, because I don't think that's the right word, but we talked about, kind of redeveloping that foundation and that culture and how does he see it. I just think he's a dude that kind of understands where he's at. He's excited about the opportunity, to make them better. And he talked about, their line improving about midway through the year and, the ability to kind of show that improvement and now to take that next step with some of these guys. And just the ability, he did say this, to stick around with them, to grow with them. And he's appreciative of that opportunity, to be back on staff. And I think it's sincere. I feel like everything that dude says is genuine. And I just appreciate his approach because he doesn't necessarily shy away from things. He's not going to, give you the keys to the playbook or anything, but he's not put off by you asking a question. He understands that they need to be better. He talked about being the offensive line being challenged and being called out and trying to respond to those situations because they weren't very good. So I really much enjoyed him. I've enjoyed hearing from all the coaches actually. And again, I just think the thing that I'll take away from that is the foundation being led and kind of with a teacher's heart, if that makes sense. And these are things that we don't talk about really in football. We think about how often you come away from a press conference and thought, man, this guy's a teacher, but that's what it is. Even Frank Wilson, joked today that he used to be a science teacher. So it's a very different approach. I understand why they're doing it, and I hope it pays off because they're being intentional and deliberate in the time that they're taking to do it. I hope it pays off, before they ever hit the field. And then once they hit the field, that they're guns a-blazing, ready to roll.
So our job here is to give the people what is most interesting to them. Obviously, your job as well. If I gave you one story over the next 3 months, would it be the end of this men's basketball season? Would it be the end of this women's basketball season? Gymnastics, Jay Johnson, spring football. What is most interesting to you on campus the next 3 months?
It's got to be LSU baseball, just because I think the other things are somewhat known. I think we see the train coming off the track for LSU men's basketball. I think we see the women making it to the second weekend of the women's tournament. And that is a fantastic story and should not in any way, shape, or form be slighted because we know the outcome. I mean, it's remarkable what they've done. I think gymnastics has some talent, but I don't know that they're going to all be healthy enough to get over the hump. But man, if they are, watch out. But I just think this Tiger baseball team, the influx of approach, right? I mean, obviously it's a new message, right? And things get old after a period of time. And I just think this new message resonates with the players. Hunt, I don't know how many of the games you went to on Saturday and Sunday, but dude, those were Saturday and Sunday games that were packed, like that was surprising to me. I just didn't feel like, that the carryover would last. And I think it's great. I think it's exciting. And I like Jay Johnson as well. I'm not going to like try to camouflage my feelings. I think the things that the dude says make a lot of sense to me. And I'm excited to hear how into the weeds he gets. I went out to practice one day. They were getting ready, to practice whatever. But what he was doing was having them work on their walk from the top step to the plate. Literally, no, you're going to work on this. This is what I want you to do. I want you to walk at this pace. This is what you should be visualizing. This is what you should be seeing. When I saw that, I was like, oh, buddy, we're in for something special here, because it's that level of detail and that much focus that, takes good teams to great teams. And I think that's kind of what you're seeing.
We shall see. Lots going on here over the next few months here in Baton Rouge. Michael Cauble, Channel 2 over there will be all over. Thanks for some time, Michael.
You bet, guys. Take care.
Thanks so much for watching Hunt Hill on YouTube.
Now do us a favor. Hit the red subscribe button below and throw us a like. We'll see you next time.